Yeah, the Ukrainians, they had to deal with hideous crimes. We're talking children that had waffle irons put on their faces as they were murdered in their bodies. Hideous stuff done by the Russians. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Michael Crosby here again. Real quick mentioning here, we have war crimes that have happened in Syria. They're really bad. We've also got war crimes that have happened in Ukraine. In fact, very big numbers in Ukraine. Ukraine's actually very experienced. They've had people come in worldwide, and these are basically Russian war crimes. And the experience of understanding this is something that Ukrainians have, certain Ukrainians have forensic and other expertise that has been imparted to them by nations who are experts around the world. I mean, Israel is an expert. Perhaps, the largest expert or best expert in the world is, in fact, the combined power, if you consider NATO, Israel, all of these nations. So the thing is that it would be correct right now for people of Syria to ask Ukraine and say, hey, can you spare, a few guys to come in and help out with some of the advice? And frankly, I think there's people in Ukraine right now that it would be very nice if they could get access, forensic purposes, on some of those Iranian drones. There could be something very valuable there. I mean, I don't want to step out and say immediately like, hey, why doesn't the Syrians make a deal real quick? They could create jobs by making drones. Not that they couldn't, but I think it would be proper to just look at the situation from a forensic evidence standpoint. And that, basically it would be nice, and it would be, to me, it would be logical to get a few guys from Ukraine and get them together to join the forensic teams that need to be put together. I mean, the people of Syria shouldn't be afraid to ask for help to deal with gathering and protecting evidence involving the war crimes and stuff, And I mean, that could include, just as I've said, this would be the right move to make, the proper legal move to help look at all avenues and areas of evidence, at least from a forensic side. As to protecting the industry and manufacturing and future, I think that's important too. And people in Syria need help. And it would be very nice for people in Syria not to be afraid and to ask for help. And have Ukraine, have other people reach out their hands and say, maybe a little bit we could help you. I mean, Ukraine has their own problems. But Ukraine also has a need to understand things. They have a logical need to send forensic teams, if they can, to Syria to examine some of those materials, which means this stuff needs to be protected. I mean, Syrians are short on having an adequate number of security personnel to help with things. They shouldn't be afraid to ask for people who are also professionals. I mean, this can be a very harmonious thing. So I want to urge that. I definitely want to urge that kind of activity. I thought I'd go ahead and mention that. Michael Crosby.
You're in poverty. Don't lie to yourself. You've been banned by your leaders to build your own home with your own hands. Christ the carpenter has been banned, as you are not allowed to be your own carpenter. You can make $140,000 to $280,000 each year, working part-time, building your own home because your labor is bankable. Demand to stop to all loan discrimination for construction. Demand the immediate jailing of the leaders responsible. It's time to repair economic national security. Obvious evidence of vivid violence, attempted assassinations. Michael Crosby is a true solutionist, a real archiver. He needs your vote for governor to repair all of your lives.